Are you afraid of losing your child during their teenage years? It's a common fear for parents. We see them pulling away, becoming more private, and we worry that the close bond we once had is gone forever. But what if I told you the teenage years aren't about losing your child? They're about changing how you stay connected. If you want your teenager to feel safe talking to you about anything, their fears, their mistakes, their first crush, their mental health struggles, or even a bad decision they made, then the foundation of your relationship has to be built on trust, emotional safety, and respect. It can't be built on control or fear. Today, we're going to talk about exactly how to build that powerful, loving relationship, and we'll also look at the very real cost of not having one. First, we need to understand what teenagers are actually going through. They are not trying to be difficult on purpose. They are trying to figure out who they are in a world that feels incredibly overwhelming. Their brains are still developing, especially the parts that control emotions and decision-making. That's why their feelings are so intense and their sense of identity is so fragile. When we as parents only see the attitude, the rebellion, or the silence, we're missing the deeper truth. Underneath all that, your teenager is silently asking you, am I safe being my true self around you? Before you jump in to correct their behavior, you have to first understand their emotional world. This leads us to the second, most crucial point: create emotional safety, not fear. Think about it. If your child is afraid of being punished, shamed, yelled at, or met with a huge overreaction, they will learn to hide the truth. It's a survival instinct. A teenager who feels emotionally safe knows three things. I can talk to my parent without being attacked. I won't be humiliated for my mistakes. And my feelings won't be dismissed as dramatic or stupid. This doesn't mean you have to approve of everything they do. Of course not. It means you respond calmly before you correct. The golden rule is simple: connection before correction. When they open up to you, your first job is just to listen. When they confess something they did wrong, your first job is to stay calm. And when they inevitably mess up, your job is to guide them, not explode at them. The moment they feel safe, the doors to communication swing wide open. And that brings me to number 3. You have to listen more than you speak. One of the fastest ways to destroy trust with a teenager is to turn every single conversation into a lecture, a sermon, or a warning. Teenagers simply do not open up to people who constantly talk over them. When they start to share something, resist the urge to interrupt. Resist the urge to immediately jump in and fix their problem. And definitely resist the urge to make the conversation about your own experiences. Instead, try using simple, powerful phrases like, tell me more about that, or, wow, how did that make you feel, or even just a reassuring, I'm so glad you told me this. You have to understand, for a teenager, the feeling of being truly heard is often far more powerful and helpful than any advice you could give. Fourth, you must learn to separate your child's behavior from their identity. Correcting their behavior is a necessary and loving part of parenting. But attacking their identity is deeply damaging. Never, ever label your child with words like lazy, stupid, bad, or disrespectful. These labels stick, and they can shape how your child sees themselves for years to come. Instead, always address the specific action. For example, instead of saying you're so irresponsible, you could say, that choice wasn't safe. Let's talk about why. Instead of you're so lazy, try this behavior of not finishing your homework isn't acceptable. Let's figure out a better plan. The message you want to send is that your love for them is unconditional, even when their behavior isn't. They should never feel like they have to earn your love by being perfect. Fifth, you have to be approachable about the hard topics. If you avoid uncomfortable conversations about things like sex, drugs, mental health, or peer pressure, your teenager will still learn about them. They'll just learn from somewhere else, from friends who are just as confused, from a stranger on the internet, or from social media. And those sources don't have your child's best interests at heart. You don't need to be a perfect expert or get overly graphic. You just need to be open, calm, and honest. If your child knows you can handle uncomfortable topics without panicking or passing judgment, they will learn to come to you first. That is a priceless gift. Next, respect their privacy, but stay present. This is a delicate balance. Trust does not mean giving them total, unchecked freedom. And on the flip side, control does not equal protection. A healthy relationship finds the middle ground, combining guidance and boundaries with a deep sense of respect. Instead of spying on their phone or interrogating them after they hang out with friends, focus on building a bond where they actually want to tell you what's going on. Use phrases like, "I trust you, and I want you to know I'm always here if you need me," or "I will never punish you for being honest with me." When the foundation of trust exists, supervision becomes a natural part of your relationship, not something you have to force. Number 7 is a big one. Model the behavior you want to see. Your teenager learns far more from what you do than from what you say. If you want them to be honest, you have to be honest with them and with others. If you want them to be respectful, you have to treat them, your partner, and others with respect. If you want them to learn emotional control, you have to show it, especially when you're frustrated. And this is so important. Apologize when you're wrong. Admit your mistakes. Show them what humility looks like. A parent who can genuinely say, "I messed up, and I'm sorry," instantly becomes a safer, more trustworthy parent. And finally, my 8th tip is to spend time with them without an agenda. Some of the most meaningful conversations you will ever have with your teenager will happen when you least expect it, in the car on the way to practice, while you're cooking dinner together, or just taking a walk. Not every interaction needs to be a serious talk or a corrective moment. Laugh with them. Watch their favorite silly show. Share stories about your own life. Just be human with them. Your presence builds trust faster than rules ever will. Now, we've talked about how to build this connection. Let's talk about the real cost of not having it. First, and most frighteningly, they will hide their struggles. When there's no trust, teenagers lie, they withdraw, and they suffer silently. Serious issues like mental health crises, bullying, addiction, or even abuse often go completely unnoticed. It's not because the parents don't care. It's because the child doesn't feel safe enough to speak their truth. Second, they will seek guidance elsewhere. If they can't talk to you, they will talk to someone. It might be friends who are just as confused and inexperienced as they are. It might be influencers on social media, or even strangers in online forums. Not all advice is good advice, and the guidance they get from these sources can be misguided or even dangerous. Third, they will associate all authority with fear. A child who is raised on a foundation of fear doesn't learn to be good. They learn how to hide better. They learn how to pretend, how to sneak around, and how to rebel quietly. This can create adults who struggle deeply with trust, communication, and emotional openness in all of their future relationships. Fourth, the relationship often breaks permanently when they grow up. Many parents tell themselves, "Oh, they'll understand when they're older." But the emotional distance that has built during the teenagers often becomes a permanent gap in adulthood. The connection you build with them now directly determines the closeness you will have with them later. And finally, they don't learn what a healthy relationship looks like. Your relationship with them is their first and most powerful teacher. It shows them how love is supposed to feel, how to handle conflict, and what safe communication looks like. If their home isn't an emotionally safe place, they may unconsciously seek out and accept unhealthy or even toxic relationships later in life, simply because that dynamic feels familiar to them. So, let's bring this all together. A strong, loving relationship with your teenage child isn't built through control or authority. It's built through consistency, patience, and creating a space of unwavering emotional safety. Your child doesn't need you to be a perfect parent. They just need you to be a present, calm, and trustworthy one. When your teenager knows deep in their heart, I can talk to my parent about anything in the world and still be loved, that is when you know you have truly succeeded, not just as a parent, but as their most important guide for life. Thank you so much for watching. If this was helpful, please consider liking and subscribing for more content. See you next time.